What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're taking a look at what seems to be a big time hype beast with Dumont Paris Nitro Red. And yeah, I've been spending the last 2 days with it, and spoiler alert, I'm a fan. So this was sent out to me by the folks over at Perfume Box. You'll see some of Perfume Box here on screen. I've been checking out the website, and I gotta say, I'm about to put in an order from them as well. They seem like they have pretty good prices, and you can exclusively buy the Dumont fragrances from there, which I'm gonna be getting the other ones since I enjoy this one as much as I seem to. Green and blue, most notably, kind of speak to me as ones that I need to try. So thank you again to Perfume Box for sending this my way. Them sending it's gonna have nothing to do with what I think about the fragrance. I genuinely do enjoy it, and we're gonna break it down, so stay tuned. So we'll take a quick look at the bottle first and foremost. Kind of has this leatherette type of wrap going around it, as you can see here. Let that focus take hold real quick. With some stitching, contrast white stitching going around. It says Nitro on the little tag. Then you have this little hanging ribbon that also says Nitro in this gold-plated metal of some kind. It says Nitro again. They're all about branding that word Nitro here on the cap. Some fragrance info on the sticker on the bottom. Cap does hold decently into place, and the cap is made mostly of some sort of metal with a little bit of plastic filling, and then you do have actually a really good atomizer, as you can see. Let's get into this scent. So the big question on everybody's mind, does it really smell like a watermelon Jolly Rancher? Yes and no. Why do I say yes and no? Yes, because it definitely smells like juicy watermelon, fruity, fresh, but it's not as synthetic as some of the other watermelon Jolly Rancher like watermelon heavy fragrances I've smelled. So it's not as artificial of a watermelon. I'm sure it's not the most natural of oils used here to create this smell, but it does come across really good. There's a little bit of a spicy tone. It's fresh and aquatic. Now it does have, and I think the red bottle plays into this a little bit with people wanting to tie it into BR540. And I do get a smidge. I do have it on my hand as well. I do get a smidge of that. I get a little bit of Invictus Hawass kind of stuff going on here, as well as a little bit like with the apple and kind of ambergris musk smell. I do get a little bit of YEDP as well. So there's a lot of like elements of fresher blue aquatics and fruity fragrances that you can pull from and say it kind of smells like this, kind of smells like that. It does share in a family of these fragrances, but at the same time, it's kind of its own thing. There's elements of it that'll remind you of different fragrances. That's the conclusion I've come up with. But what it boils down to mainly is it smells really good. Wife's a fan. I'm definitely a fan. I gotta say, I don't go anosmic, nose blind, olfactive fatigue issues, any of that too quickly to it. It does take a little while, and then the aroma will fade, but my nose will come back to life as the fragrance settles down more and more and gets closer to the skin. But it's pretty linear. I get fruity, fresh, synthetic with a little bit of spice and musk pretty much throughout. It doesn't change a whole lot. So if you like the opening, you're going to enjoy this fragrance through and through. I mean, the scent alone, I got to say, it does smell really good. I could see how this is going to pull some compliments for people. Now, as far as performance, the first time I sprayed this, I did 5 around the neck and then threw 1 on the forearm. I don't need that many. It's kind of like how Hawass is, where like 4 is kind of the sweet spot for me. 6 was just like crazy strong sillage. I gotta say, this is a straight up beast. I clocked it at 10 hours every time I've sprayed it on skin, right around 10 hours before I've taken a shower. So I can safely tell you it's 8 to 10 hour range, but really it's more like 10 to 12. But we're gonna go the safer play more times than not with 8 to 10 hours of longevity. And then projections on the heavy side. I'm going to straight up call it heavy, not just moderate to heavy. The first 2 hours of this fragrance, hour and a half to 2 hours, is really potent. The more you spray, the more you're going to fill that room, the more you're going to overwhelm yourself. So you heavy sprayers, tread lightly. This stuff is really potent, I have to say. It's impressive for anybody that likes really strong, mass appealing fragrances. That is exactly what this is. So I would say in that heavy, beyond arm's reach range, for about 2 hours. And then the sillage is on the moderate side, where I do get decent whiffs of it throughout the remaining life of the fragrance before it becomes a faint skin scent. Like for hours and hours, it will constantly remind me it's there when I make certain movements. So the sillage here is pretty good. It's got a dense enough cloud to leave a pretty hefty sillage trail, I guess you could say. So across the board, in all three subcategories of performance, this is a beast. Final thoughts on Nitro Red from Dumont Paris. This being my first fragrance from the house, it happens to be the hype beast among them. I'm impressed. I get why people have been asking me about it. I get why people have been telling me I would like it. For all of you that said, Ross, you'll enjoy this one, you were absolutely right. I do enjoy this one. This is one that can make it in and out of the rotation more than others because it's a lot less situational. This is one that you can wear anytime. More summertime. It does have a youthfulness to it, so you young fellas that are looking for that fresh beast that's going to pull some compliments, you're probably going to want to check this one out. For that, I do think it's a great fragrance at 8.5 out of 10. This is some really good stuff. It's not mind-blowingly good, like it does remind me of a bunch of other things, so it can't quite get into that outstanding territory of 9 out of 10, but it gets really close because it doesn't smell overly synthetic. Obviously, it doesn't smell photorealistic natural, but it doesn't smell too chemically synthetic to me. Like Hawass and Invictus smell more synthetic than this does. Why EDP smells more synthetic than this does, and this reminds me of a lot of those fragrances. So I would say it's slightly better quality than those, and it's a great performer and high-level versatility, so that's why I think it warrants the 8.5 out of 10. Well, that's my thoughts and feelings on Nitro Red from Dumont Paris. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. Once again, Perfume Box, thank you so much for sending this my way. I will have a link to the Perfume Box down below if you guys want to check this out. It is an affordable beast that's worthy of checking out. Again, blind buy at your own risk. I am in no way, shape, or form encouraging you to blind buy this. I would assume for the most part it's adults watching this or anybody spending their own money, even if you're a young fella. Make a wise decision. Make sure it's for you. Sample when you can or get decants when you can. But it is affordable performance, I gotta say, because performance is always number one for a lot of people, even though the wearing experience and scent overall is what's most important to me. I totally get why people want to get the most life out of their fragrance that they can. They want other people to smell them. You're gonna get that with this fragrance. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on Dumont Nitro Red and you give it a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.